Good evening. It is Wednesday evening, what is it, the 27th, I guess, of 27th of March 2024. Get my mind together, get my mind working. Sorry. We're looking tonight at another one from Art of Wargames, and it is Crusaders. The Siege of Acre. 1291. I will accept Acre as well. I don't get caught up in pronunciations as much as some people do, or name places. That's one of those things that I think we get in the weeds on. Like sometimes I hear people talking about ancient Egypt as Kemet. I say, okay, but why are we calling it that? It was called several other things, even by Egyptians. Coptos or one of the other names. So it's not. I don't get in the weeds in that type of thing because I think that's a distraction. But so the Siege of Acre. So this is one of my. This is Battleground series. It's the last one we looked at. I got to do a little review on that. I was going to do a kind of a playthrough with it too. But we were. I've been busy, incredibly busy. So let's read the blurb. In single Vinces. Those really aren't correct pronunciations. C's were always pronounced as K's, but we'll not get into the Latin. We're going to talk about that some other time when I'm having a Latin class. In this sign we shall win. That's loosely translated. Dive into history and heroism with Crusaders, the Siege of Acre, 1291, a solitaire book war game that immerses you and lets you experience the last stand of the Knights Templar and the Crusaders in the Holy Land. Yeah? Relive the outrageous stand of some 15,000 Crusader soldiers, Knights Templars, Teutonic Knights, and Hospitallers, as they defend Acre, either or, the critical port city of the Holy Land against a massive Mamluk army of some 80,000 soldiers armed with siege engines and catapults during the Ninth Crusade. Fighting was brutal. Mamluk archers and catapults rained missiles or missiles. That goes my redneck side right there. Missiles on the walled city. Infantry conducted relentless assaults against its perimeter, while miners attempted to breach the defense of the stronghold from below. From behind the ramparts, Crusaders repelled attack after attack, while leading raiding parties outside the city as the immense Mamluk army tightened the noose of the defending Crusaders. When the dust settled, the city of Acre was overran by Mamluk army. Yeah. You want to talk about some of the horrid things happening during that whole thing? Crusaders and citizens were killed as the remnants of the crusading army fled back to Europe, while the legendary Order of the Knights Templars retreated to the island of Cyprus. The Crusaders lost their last major stronghold of the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem, never to return. Can you hold Acre? Now, that's kind of a long blurb, but I thought it was important to read because, now, the Crusades are still going to go on for a little while, and depending on how you look at it, it's going to go on for several centuries more, especially in the Reconquista in Spain, right? That you could chalk that up to Crusades, as that's where the Crusades pretty much started and in one view of history ended, right? With about, the 800 and some odd year struggle the Spanish had with the Visigoth Spanish had with the different caliphates in the Iberian Peninsula, Portuguese people as well. Um, so, and I want to talk a little bit about the Mamluks. I think a lot of people have a problem with the Mamluks. They look at them as they don't. You see that, and you get into a weird. The Mamluks were didn't they weren't Arab originally, right? They were taken. A lot of those people, mercenaries, were as from Turkic areas and also Eastern European areas. Turkic and Caucasian peoples that are taken slaves and used as mercenaries. Now, many of them did earn their freedom, and a lot of them did gain a lot of power, especially later. They gained huge power. That's who really Napoleon faced in Egypt in the late 1700s, in the 1797, I guess it was. So the Mamluks had gained great power. They was looked at kind of this big army, this what do you want to say? Uh, uh, Almost this. I don't want to say special forces, but almost, yeah. And so, yeah, a lot of them were from countries like Georgia and a lot of Slavic countries. We understand that the word Slav, the slave, comes from Slav. So, yeah, this is one of the big reasons why, right? So, it's just it's an interesting group. It's a mismatch. It's like I said, it's a very diverse group of people, just basically non-Arab, right? So and and the Ottomans as well would use them, but it's just such a interesting group, and they were around for about 1,000 years, right? From about the 820s till the early 1800s. So yeah, the Mamluks were definitely wielded great power within especially the Near East. Near East more so than the Middle East, as they were ruling it for what would be different caliphates, and then the Ottomans. So it's very cool thinking about that and looking into the history of that. It's not an ethnic group, and it's not a race of people. It's just a combination of people that became an ethnic group. That's why there's no Mamluk homeland, if you will, other than what's in Eastern Europe and the Near East, right? They were not a homogenous people in any way. So I think the Mamluks are very cool. But the cool part about this game, I'm sorry I'm rambling. I just love these parts of history. I love. I do love the Crusades. I love the siege of Acre, or the fall of Acre. You could call it the same thing. Either one's fine with me. Love the art. Check it out. Yeah, it was the last. It was the last little place that the Europeans held. And of course, the Crusades are one of the coolest times ever. It was in responses to, um, you know, the Arab takeover of the Holy Lands, or what's called the Holy Lands, and the destruction of the um, um, Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and other things. And so, yeah, but it fell from the Byzantines to the Arab Muslim caliphates, and so it was thought that the Europeans would go and get it back for Christendom, and they set up the Kingdom of Jerusalem, which ran for about 100 years or so on, and had little places, and this was the last little place over there. Go through the Middle East, go through the Near East now, whether you're in Egypt, whether you're in even in some very odd places of Egypt, the Sinai Peninsula, not Sinai Peninsula. What is that? Anyways, outside of Egypt, in the deep desert, you can find some Crusader castles. You can find them in Jordan. You can find them throughout that little part of the Near East, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Some of them are in ruins. Some of them are still together. It's just cool. These are the battlegrounds, right? I see. It says this is definitely was the Crusaders' Alamo in every way, and other than not everybody was killed, but all the defenders weren't killed. Some of them escaped. The last of them obviously went down. But yeah, so what are we going to see at? We've talked about this. I talked about this system kind of at length. I'm going to wait till a review before I go any further into it. But it's a system that is designed for the great story of the overwhelming odd against you. I see not that I know this, but it would work good with the Alamo game actually. There is not one, as far as I know, unless Joe Fernandez has put one up since. But he's got the other one is Death or Glory, the Battle of Rorke's Drift, which is another excellent game to play in this. Yeah, I love it. I love the idea. Sequence of play: mark the turn marker, starting with turn 1. Roll 1d10 for event. Apply event. Mamluks. Conduct 1 catapult attack on a random Crusader defense area. Okay, I like that too. I don't know. There was something I was playing at one time. They had kind of cannon attacks, sort of the same way, which was cool. Gettysburg, maybe a Gettysburg game, maybe. Mamluks conduct 1 action. Crusaders conduct 1 attack, raid, Deus Vault action. In turn, check victory conditions. Okay, so it's straightforward. Pretty easy game. Detailed how to play. Look at that. Setup. Mamluk bot. Crusader player. That's beautiful. Beautifully done. The book's well done. I like the color. I like the color a lot. Pretty. Very cool. And it's, what is it, about $15, $17, something like that. Well priced, and I think it's something that you can enjoy, especially if you enjoy the idea of being overcome by vast forces. Those make some of the best stories, right? And these here, more Art of War games. You got, I need Ronin, whatever you want to say, Ronin. I'll need that one. I need a couple of them, I think, to buy a few more, which I am planning on doing. And Art of War Games is a veteran-owned, independent designs of strategy war games. Very well. Yeah, Joe Fernandez seems like a nice guy. Seems like a good dude. And he definitely loves the art of the game. And there is an art to it, you know. I make my own little stupid games. And there's a difference between me and Joe Fernandez. Joe Fernandez has more talent than I do, right? And that's not being self-deprecating. I have some decent ideas. But, my talent was always, in life in general, has always been, I just outwork people, right? So, although I think I've got a couple of games that's been kind of fun. For me, they're fun. That's the only reason I make those games, for me, because they're fun. And Joe said the same thing. That's why he makes games, because they're fun if anybody else wants them. But his are well done, and I enjoyed these games. I enjoyed the idea of this system here where you can plug in a lot of things with minimal change. That is, Mike Lambo has done something similar to. And this is, once you get this banged out, I think that that's a good little system. And it's a fun little game. Again, we're not expecting nothing deep in a game like this. You're just expecting to have something, maybe for vacation. Play it on vacation and have fun with it and enjoy it. Playing time, 20, 30 minutes, solitaire play. That's great for vacation. Specific Deus Vault leader actions. All right. So very well done. Thank you, Joe Fernandez. Appreciate it. Yeah. Seems a little on the nose for me. That Rorke's Drift and then the fall of Acre. They seem so disparate in their time periods and whatever, but they're again, anything with an overwhelming force, holding or a small force with overwhelming odds trying to hold out against a larger force, those make for the greatest stories. And that's why some of those histories are so popular, right? Um, it's just the odds and can you do it? That just makes for some of the greatest stuff ever. And when you pull it out of history, like the Siege of Acre, then it just makes it that much more delicious and better. And yeah. All right, folks. I'm glad for the listening to me ramble. Sorry. No, I'm not really sorry. If you're listening to me, it's your own fault. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Be careful out there. Springtime is here. I've been. It's kind of cool today. I was in the 60s today, but it's going to be nicer tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm ready for summer. Ready for hot weather. I'm ready to. I don't know, man. Maybe I'll get out, and I'm ready not to work as much. That's for sure. I'm working a lot right now. Hope y'all aren't. I hope y'all aren't. Y'all have a great day. Talk to you soon, and yeah, maybe I have another one this week. Talk to you. Careful. Bye bye.